Imagine being born into poverty, where every dollar feels like a miracle and every dream feels out of reach. Now imagine rising from that same struggle to build a fortune, a business empire, or even generational wealth. Sounds impossible? It's not, because countless people have done it, and today I'm going to show you how. But before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to Secrets to Wealth and turn on the notification bell, because here we reveal the strategies, the stories, and the mindset shifts that can completely change your financial future. And if you're serious about building wealth, go ahead and like this video right now, because what you're about to hear might be the turning point in your life. From Andrew Carnegie, rising from a factory boy earning just over $1 a week, to Oprah Winfrey escaping poverty to become one of the most influential women in the world. The journey from rags to riches is not just inspiring, it's a roadmap. This is not just their story. This could be your story. So stay with me until the end as we break down the exact principles, the mindset, and the daily actions that turn struggle into success and poverty into wealth. Poverty is not just about lacking money. It is about waking up each morning with the weight of survival pressing down on your shoulders, about choosing between rent or food, school fees or electricity, dreams or reality. Yet in every corner of the world, from crowded slums to forgotten neighborhoods, there are people who break free, people who rise from absolutely nothing to build empires, fortunes, and legacies. Poverty is not just financial, it is mental. It whispers that you can't. It convinces you to give up before you even start. But history is filled with names that began in poverty. Andrew Carnegie was born in a one-room cottage and worked for $1 a week. Oprah Winfrey grew up in rural poverty, abused and often hungry. Howard Schultz was raised in a housing project. Elon Musk once lived on a bag of hot dogs for a week. These stories remind us that where you start in life does not have to dictate where you finish. Poverty is not destiny, it is simply the starting line. So what separates the few who escape poverty from the millions who remain trapped? It begins with a spark, a decision, a refusal to accept that this is all there is. For Oprah, that spark was education. She recognized early on that reading and speaking were her ticket to freedom. For Howard Schultz, it was walking into a small Italian cafe and realizing coffee could become an experience, not just a drink. For Elon Musk, it was his obsession with technology and his refusal to accept limits. The spark looks different for everyone, but it always starts with a shift in belief. The moment you say to yourself, I am worth more, I can do more, I will not settle. But a spark alone is not enough. The world is full of people who dreamed but never acted. What turns that spark into fire is discipline, persistence, and relentless action. Money is built in the mind before it is built in the bank account. The wealthy think differently. While poverty teaches you to focus on the short term, the next paycheck or the next meal, wealth teaches you to think long term, to delay gratification, to sacrifice comfort today for freedom tomorrow. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. The poor often stop learning once they leave school. The wealthy never stop. They devour books, seek mentors, and study their industries. They are obsessed not with entertainment, but with growth. Your mind is the first investment. If you want to rise from poverty, start by changing what you feed your mind. If you grew up being told you're destined for mediocrity, replace that with the stories of people who built greatness. If your environment teaches you scarcity, train your mind to see abundance. If your circle drags you down, find a new circle. Your wealth will grow only as much as your mindset allows. After mindset comes skill set, because poverty traps those who never learn skills that the market values, while wealth flows to those who solve problems. Every millionaire did just that. They solved a problem. Carnegie provided steel for a growing nation. Oprah solved the problem of connection and storytelling for millions of viewers. Musk is solving problems of energy, space, and transportation. The path to wealth always involves value creation. So ask yourself, what skill can I develop that solves problems? What can I learn that people desperately need? Can I master coding, sales, design, leadership, finance, or communication? Money is a reward for value delivered, and the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you attract. Rising from poverty to wealth is not luck. It is a formula, mindset, skill set, action, persistence. over and over again, across centuries, across continents, across backgrounds, the formula repeats. And if they could do it, so can you. Once you've built the right mindset and begun to acquire valuable skills, the next step is strategy. Because wealth isn't built by chance, it's engineered. There are three main paths people have taken from poverty to wealth. The first is the path of entrepreneurship, the most common story of rags to riches, where entrepreneurs create businesses, take risks, and build wealth by solving problems at scale. Henry Ford transformed the automobile from a luxury to a necessity. Madam C.J. Walker, born to former slaves, became America's first self-made female millionaire by creating beauty products for Black women. The second path is career mastery, because not everyone has to start a business to become wealthy. Some rise by becoming the best in their profession. Satya Nadella rose from a middle-class family in India to become CEO of Microsoft. Ursula Burns grew up in a New York housing project and became CEO of Xerox. By mastering their craft and seizing opportunities, they turned expertise into influence and wealth. The third path is investing, because whether through real estate, stocks, or business ownership, investing is where money multiplies. Many who rise from poverty first earn through work, then build real wealth through smart investments. Warren Buffett started with almost nothing, but learned the art of compound growth. These paths often overlap. An entrepreneur invests, an investor becomes an entrepreneur, a professional builds side businesses. The key is not the label. The key is learning to multiply value, because multiplication always beats addition. Let's pause for a moment, because if rising from poverty to wealth were easy, everyone would do it. The truth is, the journey is filled with setbacks, failures, and painful lessons. But here's what separates the wealthy from the rest. They see obstacles not as dead ends, but as training grounds. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. And he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Oprah was fired from her first television job, told she wasn't fit for TV. Howard Schultz was rejected by over 200 investors before someone funded Starbucks. J.K. Rowling, before becoming a billionaire author, was a single mother living on welfare, rejected by 12 publishers. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the price of admission. Most people quit after their first failure. The wealthy keep going. They adapt, they learn, they try again, smarter. Every failure brings you closer to the formula that works. Poverty teaches you to avoid pain. Wealth teaches you to embrace it, learn from it, and rise stronger. Now let's talk about habits, the daily disciplines that separate those who rise from those who stay stuck. Wealth is not built in one dramatic leap. It is built in quiet, consistent actions repeated every single day. The wealthy read and learn constantly. Bill Gates reads about 50 books a year. Elon Musk learned rocket science by reading textbooks. Self-education is the foundation of wealth. They practice discipline with money. They save before they spend. They invest before they consume. They understand that every dollar can be a worker or a wasted soldier. They network with the right people, because poverty isolates, but wealth connects. And the wealthy build relationships, seek mentors, and surround themselves with people who lift them higher. They set big goals, because poverty teaches you to dream small, while wealth requires dreaming big. And the wealthy write down goals, visualize success, and measure progress. They work relentlessly, not just long hours, but focused hours. While others waste time on entertainment, they invest time in building. They take calculated risks, because poverty fears loss, but wealth understands that without risk, there is no reward. And they give back, because giving is a wealth habit. Carnegie built libraries. Oprah funds schools. Buffett pledged most of his fortune to charity, because giving multiplies wealth in ways money alone cannot measure. These habits are not glamorous. They're not easy, but they are powerful. And practiced daily, they turn ordinary lives into extraordinary stories. So far, we've seen that the path from poverty to wealth is not about luck. It is about mindset, skill set, strategy, and habits. But there is still one more element, the bigger reason, because wealth without purpose is empty. The richest lives are those built not just for money, but for meaning. True wealth gives you freedom. Freedom to choose how to live, where to live, and what to do with your time. It gives you the ability to create opportunities for others, to lift your family out of struggle, to impact your community, to leave a legacy that outlives you. Andrew Carnegie spent the latter part of his life giving away most of his fortune to build libraries and schools. Oprah created platforms to empower millions of women. Musk is driven not only by money, but by the mission to push humanity forward. Wealth is powerful, but its greatest power is in what you choose to do with it. When you link your pursuit of wealth to a greater purpose, you unlock energy, focus, and resilience that money alone cannot give you. Wealth with purpose becomes unstoppable. This is the secret that ties everything together. The journey from poverty to wealth is not just about escaping struggle. It is about building a life of impact and legacy. It starts with changing your mindset, refusing to accept limits, and daring to believe you are capable of more. It grows with learning valuable skills, creating value, and multiplying it through entrepreneurship, mastery, or investing. It is strengthened by habits, by discipline, by persistence through failure, and by the courage to take risks when others shrink back. And ultimately, it is given true meaning when wealth is used not just to elevate yourself, but to uplift others. So if you are listening to this and wondering if you can do it, the answer is yes. Your past does not define your future. Your present does not limit your destiny. The formula has been proven time and time again, and now it is your turn. If you are ready to rise, to break free, and to write your own story of success, then start today. Start small and keep moving forward, because the journey from poverty to wealth begins the moment you decide it does. So make the decision right now. Commit to changing the way you think about money. Commit to learning and growing every day. Commit to taking action even when it feels uncomfortable. Understand that wealth is not built overnight. It is built brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every dollar you save or invest, every connection you make, all of it compounds over time until one day you look back and realize you are no longer surviving, you are thriving. The world is filled with stories of people who started with nothing and built extraordinary lives, and the only difference between them and everyone else is that they refuse to quit. Refuse to quit on yourself. Refuse to quit on your dreams. Refuse to quit on the future you deserve. Your journey to wealth begins today, and your future self will thank you for the decision you make right now. If you found value in this message, make sure you subscribe to Secrets to Wealth and turn on notifications so you never miss the strategies and stories that can transform your financial future. Like this video to let us know you're serious about building wealth, and share it with someone who needs to hear that their past does not define their future. Remember, poverty is the starting line, not the finish line. Wealth is waiting for those who dare to believe, learn, and act. This is not just their story. It can be your story. The only question left is, will you take the first step?